And so again, good morning and welcome everybody. It's very nice to have you with us this morning. I wanted to begin this morning. I'm so filled with spring and Easter holiday. I wanted to share a poem with you by William Wordsworth. This poem totally sums up my week. My week has been filled, for whatever reason, with daffodils. Everywhere I go, they're popping up. I went to a friend's house to pick up some of these masks. Some congregants here at Unity Temple have made a whole bunch of masks for all the staff and support folks. And so I was able to go and pick those up and bring them back. And their backyard is absolutely filled with daffodils. There must have been hundreds. So I wanted to share this poem with you by William Wordsworth called Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing with the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For often when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances there with the daffodils. And so the talk this morning, Roll Away the Stone. I have to tell you, I did not write this talk. It was written by two mourning doves that are perched right outside my window of my apartment where my desk is. And so every time they would coo, there would come a line. When they didn't coo, there was no line. And so I realized, oh, you guys are writing this. So I have often been accused of being bird-brained, but never bird-hearted. But apparently that is the case. So again, welcome on this very auspicious day. And although this is a high holy day for folks of the Christian tradition and folks of the Jewish tradition with Passover, it is also a very auspicious day for those practicing in the Buddhist path. And so on a day like today, Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, an event that many consider to be the centerpiece of their faith. But Easter is more than just a day. What happens when we think of it as a verb? Then the resurrection becomes a spiritual practice of daily life. Both Passover and Easter face death head on and announce the greater truth to the world, which is death is an illusion and life is eternal. My feeling is that the real resurrection of Jesus Christ does not rely on whether or not he rose from the dead. I would think that the real resurrection occurs when Christians receive the teachings of Jesus within their hearts and minds. When a Christian really, truly, deeply receives the teachings of Jesus in one's heart and mind, then Jesus truly comes alive again. And from a Buddhist perspective, this is the real meaning of resurrection. In the same manner, for Buddhists, when we receive the Buddha's teachings in our hearts and in our minds, then the Buddha comes alive for us. Shakyamuni is not just a great teacher that lived over 2,500 years ago, but is a living teacher, a spiritual sense for us today. Redemption And this is in the words of Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, redemption and resurrection are neither words nor objects of belief. They are our daily practice. We practice in such a way that Buddha is born every moment of our daily life, that Jesus Christ is born every moment of our daily life. And as I said, this comes from Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh. So on this idea of Easter, when the stone was rolled away and Jesus was reborn, renewed, and resurrected and stepped forth from the cave, from the tomb. So what is this stone that is to be rolled away? What is it then that blocks our path? It is the thinking that something is blocking our path. It is the creation of self and other. It is separation. Thinking that life is happening to me instead of for me. Whatever we make wrong is a stone. Whatever we make bad blocks the light. Whatever we carry from the past is a heavy bag of rocks. And whatever we fear in the future is a landslide. The stone rolls away when we realize that what is in the way is the way. You are resurrected in each and every moment when you give your full attention to whatever it is that you are doing. Then you will recognize the constant renewal of life all around you. When we walk the path of beauty and notice the spiritual radiance of people, places, and things, when we see the flowers as well as the thorns, it is a rebirth. Whenever, with compassion, you open your heart to the pain of the world, you help bring suffering beings back into the land of the living. When you cultivate awareness and aliveness, the walls of separation come crashing down and new life can spring up out of the rubble. When you regularly practice metta or loving kindness practice for others and for yourself as a part of your devotional activities, you are practicing resurrection. Enthusiasm is the mark of a life giver. When you can laugh and sing and relish life, you are practicing resurrection. This knowing, this Buddhist idea of faith enables us to live with confidence amidst the doubt and the paradox. When you can trust in your relationship with all things and realize the oneness, that is new awakening. Every time you forgive someone, another resurrection is in the making. Every time you practice gratitude, you are rolling away the stone of fear and anxiety that separates us from life. Bring hope to someone in despair, and you roll away the stone. Bring healing to those in conflict, and you are contributing to the ongoing resurrection, seeing the light in them when they cannot. They are reborn. When you can welcome strangers and contrasting ideas with graciousness, you are participating in a new world of ever-renewing possibilities. When you add even a small portion of joy to the lives of those around you, You bring resurrection into your community. As you work for justice, freedom, and equality, you set the stage for resurrection. When you feed the hungry and stand up for the oppressed, you are a life giver. Little acts of kindness tenderize the world and add to the energy of the goodwill and set the table for awakening and rebirth. When you find truth in each and every experience instead of judgment or blame, there you find the strength to roll away the stone. When you nurture yourself, when you eat right, when you get plenty of rest, you are helping Spirit to resurrect the body. When you stay open to all people and all situations, you affirm your belief that all things can be made new. Sometimes you feel refreshed by the simplest of things: laughter, games, play. This too is resurrection. When you practice reverence for life, you cannot help but notice all the little resurrections going on all around you, the continual process of creation on earth. Practicing resurrection also means having confidence that part of the practice is also experiencing selfishness, anger, greed, sorrow, sadness, loss. And all these are too a part of the resurrection. How can we purify those things if we have not experienced them to know them? When we welcome change, both big and small, our experience signals to us receptivity to transformation and resurrection. Pay attention to the visitors and the visionaries, for they are conduits of resurrection for yourself and for our communities. Be respecting of the mystery of the world, of life, of awakening, the mystery of human nature and the natural world. Bear witness to the ineffable nature of renewal and rebirth. It was Reverend Youngblood, a Baptist preacher, who said, "Every time I see a man put down his bottle, there is resurrection going on. Every time I see a person go back to school, there is resurrection going on." It is all around us. Karma is not about past or future lives. It's about this moment right here. The karma that we cultivate now moves into the next moment. We are reborn each time we come back to the breath. And we free ourselves, or better yet, we roll away the stone of incessant thinking, of being lost in thought. There's the cave. There's the darkness. It is in this present moment that the light shines, and it is in this present moment that we are reborn every time we become aware of this precious moment. I'd like to close with a passage from a book that I thought was very appropriate by Jack Kornfield called "The Buddha is Still Teaching." This passage was written by Sogyal Rinpoche. In his interpretation of the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Above all, be at ease. Be as natural and spacious as possible. Slip quietly out of the noose of your habitual anxious self. Release all grasping and relax into your true nature. Think of your ordinary, emotional, thought-ridden self as a stone, as a block of ice, or a slab of butter left out in the sun. If you are feeling hard and cold, let this aggression melt away in the sunlight of your meditation. Let peace work on you and enable you to gather your scattered mind and awaken in you the awareness and insight of clear seeing, of emptiness. And there you will find all your negativity disarmed, your aggression dissolved, and your confusion evaporating slowly like mist into the vast and stainless sky of your absolute nature.